Welcome! Today, we're diving into one of the most explosive events in history. An eruption so powerful it echoed around the world. Stick around, you won't believe the impact it had. Krakatoa, located between the islands of Java and Sumatra in Indonesia, wasn't just any volcano. It was a ticking time bomb. In the year 1883, the world witnessed its fury. When Krakatoa erupted, it sent shockwaves that circled the globe, quite literally. The explosion was one of the loudest sounds ever heard, with people thousands of miles away reporting the blast. Imagine waking up to that boom! But the real shock wasn't just the noise, it was the after effects. Ash-darkened skies, temperatures dropped, and sunsets around the world turned fiery red for months. Why does this eruption still matter today? Well, it helps scientists understand volcanic forces, climate change, and global interconnectedness. Plus, its story is a wild ride. So, buckle up. We're about to explore what happened, how it changed the world, and the lessons it left behind. Let's jump in! Now that we know the impact, let's rewind and see how it all unfolded. This chapter is all about the timeline, when Krakatoa started rumbling and how it led to one of the loudest explosions in history. Let's break it down. It all began in May of 1883. Krakatoa woke up with a series of small eruptions, like a volcano clearing its throat. Steam, ash, and lava started rising, warning that something big was coming. Fast forward to August 26th. The volcano grew restless, with explosions shaking the ground and sending ash miles into the sky. But this was just the warm-up act. Then came August 27th, the day the world would never forget. 4 colossal explosions erupted in quick succession, each more powerful than the last. The final blast? So loud, it shattered eardrums and echoed thousands of miles away. The force was so immense that the entire volcanic island collapsed into the ocean, triggering tsunamis that raced across the Indian Ocean. Entire coastal villages were swept away in minutes. By the end of the day, the eruption was over. But its effects would be felt worldwide for years to come. And that's the timeline of how Krakatoa made history. Short, explosive, and unforgettable. Up next, we'll dive into the destruction it caused, on land, at sea, and even in the atmosphere. Stay with us, it's about to get intense! Now that we know how Krakatoa's eruption unfolded, let's dive into the destruction it caused. From towering tsunamis to skies darkened by ash, this chapter shows the true force of nature and its lasting impact on the world. Over 36,000 lives were lost as coastal towns vanished beneath the waves. Entire communities were swept away in minutes, leaving devastation in their wake. And it wasn't just the coast that suffered. Ash clouds soared into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight across the globe. Days turned dim, and skies took on eerie shades of red and orange. With less sunlight reaching the earth, global temperatures dropped. Crops withered, harvests failed, and weather patterns went haywire, causing food shortages and economic strain worldwide. And let's not forget the sound, the colossal explosion that echoed thousands of kilometers away. Sailors on ships in the Indian Ocean thought their vessels had exploded, and people as far as Australia and Africa heard the blast. So, the Krakatoa eruption wasn't just a local disaster, it was a global event. From coastal destruction to disrupted weather patterns, its effects rippled across continents, reminding humanity of nature's immense power. Now that we've seen the destruction, let's explore what scientists learned from this catastrophe and how it changed our understanding of volcanoes, climate, and the world itself. Stay tuned! Now that we've witnessed the destruction, let's dive into what scientists discovered from Krakatoa's eruption and how it shaped modern science. Get ready, because this is where things get fascinating. First up, volcanic ash. When Krakatoa erupted, ash soared into the atmosphere and traveled across continents. Scientists studied how it spread, revealing how volcanic eruptions impact the entire planet. And here's a game changer. The eruption was the first global disaster tracked using the telegraph. Messages zipped across oceans, helping scientists connect the dots between distant shockwaves and the eruption itself. Speaking of shockwaves, this eruption's blasts were so intense, they circled the globe multiple times. Scientists studied these waves, leading to breakthroughs in understanding atmospheric pressure and sound propagation. But the biggest impact? Krakatoa helped spark modern volcanology. Scientists began studying volcanic activity more systematically, paving the way for better eruption predictions and safety measures. And let's not forget tsunamis. Triggered by the volcano's collapse, these giant waves led to new studies in oceanography and tsunami science, saving lives to this day. So, thanks to Krakatoa, scientists cracked the code on volcanic ash, shockwaves, and tsunamis, turning disaster into discovery. Up next, we'll see how this eruption's effects echoed through history and culture worldwide. Stay with us. Now that we've explored the science, it's time to see how Krakatoa's eruption left its mark on the world, changing sunsets, inspiring artists, and reshaping cultures. Let's dive into the long-term effects that still echo today. Ash particles from the eruption spread across the globe, painting sunsets in shades of crimson and gold. For months, the skies became nature's own art show, and the world took notice. Artists rushed to capture these fiery skies, filling canvases with blazing reds and deep purples. Even famous painters like Edvard Munch found inspiration. Some say the blood-red sky in the Scream was influenced by Krakatoa's sunsets. Writers and poets also found inspiration, weaving these apocalyptic skies into their stories and verses. Suddenly, the eruption wasn't just science, it became part of art and culture worldwide. But the effects weren't only artistic. Volcanic ash altered ecosystems near Krakatoa, reshaping forests and coastlines. New plants and animals moved in, turning disaster into a new chapter for local wildlife. Meanwhile, communities devastated by the eruption rebuilt their homes and their identities. Local myths and legends evolved, blending the volcano's fury with cultural beliefs that still endure today. So, from breathtaking sunsets to resilient communities, Krakatoa's legacy reached far beyond science. It became a global story of nature's power and humanity's creativity in the face of disaster. Now, let's see what lessons we've learned from this volcanic giant. Welcome to the final chapter of our story. Now, let's see how the lessons from Krakatoa's eruption continue to shape the modern world. Thanks to Krakatoa, scientists developed better ways to monitor volcanic activity, helping to predict eruptions before they happen. And let's not forget tsunami warning systems. Lessons from Krakatoa's deadly waves led to life-saving networks that alert coastal communities worldwide. Today, Krakatoa serves as a case study in disaster preparedness, reminding us why it's crucial to stay ready for nature's surprises. Its legacy goes beyond science. It showed the world how interconnected we all are, proving that what happens in one corner of the planet can affect everyone. And hey, if you've enjoyed this volcanic adventure, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust us, you won't want to miss our next explosive story. Now it's your turn. What do you think is the most important lesson from Krakatoa's eruption? Or do you have a wild volcano story of your own? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear it.